So a lot of people, when they think of theater, imagine that the director and the actors are really the most important parts of the show, or maybe the only parts of the show, but in reality, the stage manager is there doing the majority of the work completely behind the scenes.
The director is making decisions, whereas the stage manager is making those decisions work.
In a production, the director and the stage manager are both equally important. The stage manager takes care of all of the technical stuff, and the director takes care of all of the creative stuff. So they kind of split that job in half.
Everything is documented by the stage manager, every prop, costume, way the actor moves, direction by the director. So if all of that is lost, literally like the whole show is basically like in shambles.
They are the person who knows all the nitty-gritty details of everything.
The stage manager kind of takes everything that's in the director's head and their like artistic concept and puts it down on paper and gives it out to everyone that's involved in the show, crew and cast.
I've worked on a couple different shows here at FSU. I worked on 12th Night my sophomore year. In the fall I did Guys and Dolls, and just recently I did The Addams Family. I was an ASM on that. I actually started in the 8th grade. I didn't get in the show, so I wanted to still be a part of it. During rehearsals, the stage manager and their team will be there to set up the Fallon, or piece of the theater that they're working in. They will have the props and the rehearsal costumes ready for use. They will track everything that's happening. They'll write down blocking, take notes of when actors are messing up lines. They'll note where all of the props are at what time and what scenic changes need to happen, so that once they get to the performance they know exactly what needs to go on. There's a stage manager, is usually kind of the head of a stage management team, which might include assistant stage managers, anywhere from 1 to 5 or 6.
The SM is in control of everything in the show, from contacting the lighting designers, costume designers, set designers, props people, directors, producers.
Manager runs all of the rehearsals, and they basically run the show once the show opens. So after the director is gone, it's completely under the stage manager's jurisdiction to make sure that everything runs smoothly, and without them, everything would completely collapse.
The main stage manager will be the one in charge of doing most of the communication. They'll be in charge of the actors, and they will also call the show. Calling a show is what the main stage manager does during performances. They will have a script with all of the light cues and the sound cues and everything in that, and they communicate to board operators, so like the light board operator or soundboard operator, when to push the next go button. And then when it's supposed to happen, they'll say, like, Q35, go, and then the board op will press the button and the lights will change at the exactly right time. And then ASMs will be in charge of running the deck, which is what we call like the actual backstage area.
Because the SM sits up in the light booth, way back behind the audience watching the rest of the stage. SMs basically run everything backstage.
They're in charge of crew members, and they communicate with the stage manager what's happening backstage.
They have to make sure that all of the backstage is running smoothly. Some shows require a lot more work than other shows, and you have to be willing to put in that work, just like an actor is willing to put in all of the work that they're doing. You have to know that your work is very valued and that you really have to put in the time, or else don't do it, because it's a really hard job.
I think it gets less stressful the more you do it, but it's also, there will always be things that go wrong and always things that you have to deal with that are maybe not so fun.
I think when you're able to see all like the work you've put in, as well as making sure that this show runs smoothly and everything has sort of fallen into place correctly, the lights are running, the flies are going back and down, everything is running smoothly, I think that's when you know like your show is doing really well, and that's a really rewarding experience to watch. And usually you don't see that until opening night or later.
I stage manage because it's a way to be involved in the process from start to finish and see theater evolve from ideas in a design room to the actual living, breathing production that people get to enjoy.